Alright, it is Tuesday, the 25th of May. And we're currently at 207 quarter, which is not far off LVN, which was actually tested in the overnight at 14, 214.13. So we have this resistance zone. Yesterday was swept through. So my expectation today is to continue the move higher, to test the HVN here at 30 to 130, 128, and then the all-time high, which is at 35, 40. So scenario 1 is a bit like find a base and push up. Scenario 2 is we had this move and we had the consolidation, and now we could have a reversal that will take us down to the 175 resistance area, 180. This HVN here. So scenario 1, scenario 2, and then higher time frame. So on the way up, we need to really take the LVN, have an initial pullback, and then extend higher. Like so. Test pullback, test 14, pullback, and take out the overnight. This is the all-time high at 40 to 40. And scenario 2 is reverse the move from yesterday and slide down the flagpole down to where we started at 75. Right, so how this looks. On the 15-minute, like so. But before we get to that, yesterday my scenario 1 was for a test lower to 68, 65, and continue higher to 91.97. We, instead of that, had a very grindy trend day up. We only dipped lower down to 73, so not as much as I was expecting, down to 68, and a very grindy move up without any pullbacks, very few shallow pullbacks. And small pause to form the VPOC. Extended and close, that was reversed swiftly, and we closed just above the VPOC. In the overnight we tested the VPOC on the pit session, and we've just drifted higher. So yesterday this would have been scenario 3, trend day up, a range of 32 points. Right, so today my scenario 1 in blue. As we open right on top of the mid and the overnight VWAP, my expectation is for a test lower to find a base down to either the century figure at 200 or slightly lower, 198, 196, possibly the VPOC from yesterday and the close, all within a few points, 95 to 98. Where we find a base. We also have the overnight low there and the IB high from yesterday and the close and the century figure. So find a base in that area test that LVN from the 60-minute chart, which is the singles, and the RTH high on the 28th of April and the overnight high. Test that, pull back to the prior day high at 07 there. From then on, we have a naked VBOK at 22, and then the all-time high at 32, which I expect to take out. So we have the 22 naked VBOK, the all-time high at 32. After we've had an initial bounce at the singles at 14 and the overnight high. That's scenario 1. $198. Ah. 198 prior close. Scenario 2 in green, as we open, test that same level, 214, the singles and the RTH high and the overnight high, and impulse lower, test the VBOK, test the century figure first, 200. The VBOK at 195, continue lower to the 185 prior week high singles, and if we have more strength to the downside, down to the 170, 374 MC VBOK. That's scenario 2. Scenario 3, we had an impulse day yesterday, so it's highly unlikely it's not highly unlikely, but it's less likely to have another impulse day, trend day up. But if we do, whether it's going to be to the upside or to the downside, it's equal probabilities in my opinion. So with a lot of volume, we've accumulated a lot of volume, so quick push lower. And then we'll stop again. Scenario 3. And the opposite, scenario 4. Down to the MCLVN at 168. Scenario 4. So that's that.